Hello, YouTube. Bear back again with another video. Actually, going to be a little bit different today. Still kind of sick, so this might be the last day that I don't have cam on. We'll see how I'm doing tomorrow. Um, Voice feels a little bit better. I don't know. I might sound different. I can't really tell. I'm still stuffed up though. It sucks. But anyway, a little bit of a different video today. I took the past 2 days off work. I went back to work today. Awful decision, but I did. But the past 2 days I had off work. Yesterday I played one rapid game, which didn't end too well. Ended up losing. A little bit of a frustrating game. But as I had yesterday off because I was sick, I was watching a lot of different chess videos, just watching other creators, kind of seeing what they do, see what's up. Stumbled across a guy who was streaming and just had a tournament going, and I entered that. It ended up being a rapid one in the same time format, so 10 minutes, and I don't think there was any increment. It was just straight up 10 minutes, which is what I've been playing. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's get in there. That's what I'm playing, I guess. And I was a little frustrated from the loss earlier in the day, so I was like, might as well try to get a little bit of redemption. So it ended up being, a chunk of different people in there. I actually don't know how to look at. Can I look at this tournament? I actually don't even know if I can. I don't know. Either way, it ended up being, I think, 22 players. There were some killers in it. There was rated anywhere from like 200 up to just under 1900. There were a couple 1800 players in there. And me, yesterday hopping in, I was 1280 something, I believe. Don't look if you don't want spoilers for the games. There's 5 of them. I was 1286 going into the tournament yesterday. So, yeah, let's just look at the games real quick. We'll go through them pretty quick. Again, my voice is a little messed up, so don't want to go too crazy as far as talking, but we'll just kind of go through them really quick. The first game, obviously really lopsided. I played against, I think he might have been the lowest rated player in the tourney, 213. And in Vignesh 716 from India, and all the people I played were pretty nice. It was a community tourney, just free. It was rated though, so like ratings, you gained or lost rating on it. I think this I didn't gain any rating because the disparity was so much, but if I lost, I would have lost a huge amount. I was like, oh crap. But pretty typical game. I probably won't focus on this one too much because unfortunately my opponent made some pretty clear mistakes. We just did a standard London. He kind of blunders his pawn here. We force a trade with the bishops, and then it leaves some stuff hanging here. So yeah, just an unfortunate start from him. Losing a couple pieces. We missed a mate in 3. But it's okay. We just play smart, play conservative, trade off a lot of pieces and end up winning. So this one, again, not going to focus too much on since it was kind of a blowout and not too much to gain from. But we did win our first game. Game number 2. This is actually against the guy that was running the tourney. It was Charlie something, Charlie Sato or something. I don't know, unfortunately. I joined his club, Chess Chillers. Feel free to hop in there because that's what I had to join. He was rated definitely a chunk higher than me, 1648 at the time. And looking at it, 1950 to 2050, not too bad. I was struggling this game though, struggling. So we again were the white pieces. We open up with the London. I take a really bad trade at a specific time, which put me down a piece, and I think it's just greedy stuff. So here they hate this move. I think he ends up moving his knight, which they didn't like. And here I think I definitely should have just moved my bishop. Let him take it. I can trade it off. This right here happens, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm in a weird spot. I don't have anywhere I can move this without losing it, so that just really sucked. I kind of pinned my bishop in, and I realize now that well, that sucks. Let's take here, I guess. So he didn't have a way to follow up there if I decided to take. I don't know. That was my initial thought. But he just takes with the pawn first, obviously. Good play by him, because then I have to move my queen or take back that space, which that's what we do. So he has an advantage here, but I just got to keep grinding out moves. This is 10 minutes, no increment, and he's thinking the whole time, pretty heavily, and I'm playing defense as best as I can. I know the eval bar looks pretty brutal, but I'm able to avoid, dropping any other huge mistakes here, I think, as far as hanging any pieces or leaving any clear tactics wide open. I know this bishop was really scary. He was kind of looking for some opportunities there. This knight hopped around, so much, from so many spots that it was just kind of a nuisance there. His knight was on the left side of the board from that initial bishop move. Oh, excuse me, I just had to cough really bad. His knight was on the left side of the board here, not really doing too much. So while I was down a piece, it didn't necessarily feel like it at some points here. And it got to the point where I was like, this guy's, really down on time. He's really taken, I think longer than he should to be making a lot of these moves, considering how far down he was. And it just got to the point where he got both his rooks on the 7th rank, but both my rooks are still alive, so I still had enough of a defense here that it wasn't easy for him to, force any checks. This bishop ended up getting blocked off by this, and I wanted to, maybe force a little trade here at some point, and I was able to just narrow him down and ended up winning on time. And this was for sure the highest rated player I've beaten, I think, in any game. So this felt really cool to have happen. Granted, this was the guy that was, streaming the game, so I didn't watch him while we were playing. I didn't go back, but I'm assuming maybe he was kind of talking with Chad and maybe a little distracted too. I watched other games, and he definitely is a little bit of a talker, so I'm assuming if he was, really paying attention the whole time, he probably would have had me, no doubt. But still, definitely a feel-good moment for me. I was able to get a nice win here. And it was 5 rounds total, so I was like, oh man, we're in the lead early. That's kind of cool. Let's see if we can continue the momentum. And this was against Daniel Stamidis. Definitely not as high rating. This one I felt brutalized from the beginning. So this guy's 1853. I was like, oh my god, he is so high rated. I don't know what happened this game. I go for a normal Caro-Kann. He does this move, which I don't think I've ever seen. I was like, what is this? I thought for sure, at this point I was like, oh, he's looking for something like this. Like, he's going to take on here, so I take. And then he's going to move his queen down. And I'm like, is that even that big of a deal? I don't really know. Like, I could just move my queen or my bishop down. But I was like, am I missing something? I don't know. Like, this just scared me. So I was like, okay, we're just going to move our queen up. So that's kind of angling here. And this was obviously a mistake, I thought. Because I realized afterwards, which will happen, he's able to kind of push my queen away. And then I was like, oh, well, let's try to get rid of the horse now. And excuse me if I have pauses, it's definitely from me having to cough. I thought, okay, let's push the knight away. But he counters with this, pushing my queen away. Obviously, I can't take her, I lose my queen. I'm like, well, where do I move this guy now? Can't take either of these. They're both defended. Can't go here. None of these spaces help defending this. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know. Let's throw a check in there. Gotta move it again. Moved it back down. And then he makes the sack. And I'm like, well, what the heck do I do here? I thought he was going to go in with this. He actually goes in with the knight. And I was like, I either go back and he goes in here. I'm going up. I went up. And he spent a long time here. He spent like 3 minutes on this move. I don't know. I typed to him Darius, I don't think it shows what we were typing, but everything was pretty nice. He was like, man, I was not expecting you to go up. I was like, yeah, this is awful. And I don't know, he took 3 minutes. He just wasn't really sure what to do in this scenario. I think he said he mainly plays this one attack, and he's like, I don't know the lines after this. So then I was just like, well, if he doesn't know the line, I don't know him either. Let's just see what happens, you know? We trade off knights. Obviously this sucks. I didn't, like, when he moved here, I was like, there's no good option. If I move in, this is gone. He has a check here. Like, it's just all bad. So I was like, okay, I gotta move in. Or move away. So, right move. That also still protects this, but it pins it. So, he smartly trades off the knights. Then, you know, puts my, since my bishop's pinned, he attacks it with the pawn. I just push. I gotta get space. I gotta be able to get my bishop out and all that stuff. I guess I should have just taken, but I don't know, I was like, well, he just takes back. What's the use? But that's what the computer wants. He didn't en passant here. He let me get my pawn here, which is interesting. He moves his bishop up for another diagonal. I just push my pawn, say, well, here's another defender. And now I move in these guys. I thought about trying to get my knight out here so we could, like, defend this side and this in case something weird was going to happen, but I was like, that blocks this in, which is just so bad. I pushed this, and I was like, this doesn't work either. I think I was thinking of doing this before I did my rook move, because before he would have just been able to take, because this is pinned. That's why I did my rook first and then pushed. He throws a check. He sacks the bishop there. Gets another check with the king, and he's down to 1 minute to my 4 minutes. So, some of these moves he's just really thinking on, you know? Every move, you know, 20 to 30 seconds for the most part. I'm kind of hustling these out here because for the most part, like I feel like I have like 1 or 2 moves that even make sense in this scenario. I'm just trying to survive. And get to check here. His queen's kind of doing a lot of damage here. We trade off a piece there. This is obviously brutal. My queen is pinned. I throw a check in just to delay more time, and he's just already so low. And that's how it goes. And after this, he had mate and won on the last move. When he threw this check and I went down, he had mate and won. But he ran out of time, so this... I couldn't believe that I won this. Again, it almost doesn't really feel like it should count at all. But scraped to win past an 1853, which is just insanity. And granted, I just picked up 2 wins against 1648, 1853. Both games I'm in a horrendous position, though. Like, if time wasn't a factor, I don't win either of those, so... I guess a moral victory that I was able to win, but yeah, it doesn't feel the greatest. Again, so I'm 3 out of 3 here. I'm thrown up against the other guy who is 3 out of 3. So dislike button, 1889 out of the UK. I'm like another killer, another 1800 plus. I'm like, this already feels so awful. Yeah, I mean, we just kind of go through the beginning here. I should have taken, which I don't know why I didn't. This already felt weird. He's like, I don't get this position much. I think I was supposed to take. I haven't seen somebody do this opening in so long. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to take here. He wants me to take. I didn't. He put his queen here, and I'm like, do I just go here? I don't know why I went here, but I lost another defender on this, so I ended up being down a pawn here, which just felt awful. So I'm down a pawn early, and, you know, we're just playing solid chess. I don't think either of us making any huge mistakes. I wanted to see if there was a way I could get some kind of tactic on this queen by getting something on either of these squares. I don't know if there's going to be like a rook lift I could get over here, and he can't take because he's pinned. I don't know. I was just looking for anything. This pawn push ended up being a mistake because I was thinking, oh, I have... You know, if he takes, I take. I was really dumb, didn't realize the horse is also there defending, and It's just another asset I lost. And I'm like, this is just an awful position. I'm losing bit by bit here. He throws a couple checks in, and then this is the big mistake. I just dropped my queen. It's already horrendously down. This obviously is the gut punch. And I just resigned there. Not much else we can do there. Not much else to go for. I was trying to see if I could get something going with my rook at the 7th rank, get my queen over here with my horse. That was kind of the whole idea, but yeah, dropping it obviously ended anything there. But losing to an 1889 really didn't make a big difference on the rating. And then we go to our last game, which I think this one was the most frustrating because I definitely should have won this game, and I think it would have capped off a really good day for me if I was able to take it, if it's going to show. Got Tuba 0027, 1618. So again, ranked decently higher than me, 18 to 2000. Again, I don't really know what these ratings mean because there's no way they're right, but white pieces, we play London and we play a really solid game the entire way until, just like last game, I blunder a piece, and it feels so bad because I had a time advantage, I had a lead, and I know they say the hardest game to win is a 1 game, but still feels awful when it happens. So we are up a pawn in an early exchange off these pieces, off a good little trade here. So he gets rid of a defender there to attack this. So while he gets to keep the bishop pair, I lose one. I'm up a pawn, which ends up taking away one of his bishops as well. Okay, cool. And we get this really close position right here where we both have rooks that are kind of setting up. We both have a queen that's kind of hopping around, and we're really just a little bit stalemated. Like, we don't really, I mean, neither of us is really making a lot of moves here. It hates this as far as we pushing up. I don't really know why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it hates that. It wants to... could just trade there, no? Oh no. Yeah, okay, I see. This is awful because he just pushes the pawn and wants it. Well, no. Oh no, it still loses 2 pieces, yeah. Oh no, because he has to move the queen, right? Okay. And say I trade. He takes. So this makes sense, obviously. I can't move here. I see now, because that's blocking this. Okay, makes sense. Bad move to begin with. So he moves out here, and I'm like, what am I doing? Don't want to lose the pawn. I push this pawn, and then I lose the queen. I'm up 5 minutes to 3. I'm like, I have a decent advantage, and I just blunder it away. Yeah, not much else I can do from there. Just brutal. But nice to play in, you know, a little bit of a competitive situation. You know, nice to get my feet wet a little bit. I'm sure I'll probably look for some more of these. I thought I would be more nervous. I wasn't really at all. I mean, maybe when my first game against the 1800, I was like, oh, you know, it's not even going to be close, but well, neither game really was that close. I mean, at least I know I can kind of hang with them, especially in a time crunch. Something to think about. But at the end of the day, so 5 games I played yesterday after the one. I ended up going from 1286 to 1312 off. Really just the 2 wins, I guess. The first win didn't really give me anything. I don't think it gave me any rating. But beating a 1648 and then an 1850, I mean, that really boosted me up. So, yeah, we'll kind of look towards maybe doing some more of those when they present themselves. And I'll be back again. Hopefully I'll be feeling better tomorrow, and we'll get back on that rapid climb. 1312. Maybe we can get to 14 or 1500 before the tournament, which is the 28th. So that's 16 days. 16 days, man. It's already coming up so fast. All right, well, thanks for watching. Have a good one.